How's it going, guys? Anxious Cynic back again with another Mine-imator tutorial. Last week we did the walking animation, so as promised I wanted to go ahead and try to knock out that running animation video. I actually haven't really done that much with running in my animation, so this is going to be a bit of a learning curve for me as well, but we're going to see if we can get something that looks pretty good and maybe is a good alternative to the now built-in running animation that we went over in our previous tutorial series. So let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is, just like before, running is a pretty fast motion, so I'm going to try and go with 10 frames here, kind of like before. We'll see how it goes. You know, the timing will vary depending on how fast you want things to move, so keep that in mind. This is just a guideline, and as I did with the first one, with the walking animation, I'll be trying to provide a download link for this character object that you can use. If you're having trouble with that, by the way, I don't know if anyone has yet, but what you would do is when you download that file, you save it somewhere you can find it, and when you go up here to the top left, you go to import an asset. And when you click on that, it'll bring up a dialog box, and just like any other program you've ever used, navigate to that file and open it up, and it'll load it right into Mine-imator for you. God. All right, here we go. Enough of that dilly-dally stuff. All right, so we're just going to go ahead and start with the running animation itself. So let's just come back here with this one. Let's make that, say, 24. Let's do a kind of relatively significant bend. Let's go with 80. We'll see how that looks. All right. Then we'll bring the other one forward. Something like that. Maybe negative 48 or 49. We'll see how that goes. We'll go negative 49 on that one and positive 24 with an 80-degree bend on the other leg. And just for the sake of visualizing what we're going to do, I'm going to go ahead and start with the arms this time. So generally there's going to be a pretty exaggerated movement here. Let's see. Something like that maybe. Let's just make that an even 98. And then on the other arm here, we're going to come back. Something like that. Let's see what we got here. This one's negative 41. Let's just go ahead and even that out so it's easier to work with. And let's make this one, what if we did 50? That looks pretty good. What do you think? Think that looks good? Let's try 33 on that. Yeah, 34, 35, 33 maybe. We'll go with 33 there. All right. So that's a pretty good running pose, I would say. Generally when someone's running though, let's see, they might be kind of having a bit of a forward posture here. Maybe a slight bend backwards. Let's try negative 4 on that. And let's see if 15 isn't too terrible. And then we'll go on the head. Have them looking kind of forward. Let's go ahead and remove that and make that an even 9. So we're going to go up 10 frames and see if we can reverse all these positions. So what we're going to do is just go ahead and copy this and paste it. Control C and Control V once you've highlighted all your keyframes. So this one is negative 49 and is straight. And the other one is 24 with a bend. So let's just go ahead and make this 24 with a bend, I think, of 80, right? Looks, whoa, we're losing, okay. Let's go ahead and do this one. Let's get rid of the bend, and it was negative 41, I think. Let's double check that. 49, you misled me. All right, there we go. So we got that one reversed, and then now we got to do the arms here. This is 50 with a 33 bend, negative 41 with 98 bend. All right, 98 bend. So we're going to go ahead and make this one 33, and then this one 98. We'll just do them one at a time like this so I can keep up with my numbers here. I'm getting confused 41 and 50. Negative 41 and 50. So we'll go ahead and do this one. Negative 41 and 50. There we go. Not too bad. And so we get this stuff going on. Let me go ahead and select all of my keyframes real quick and set them all to linear just to make sure we're not working with any undesirable transitions. That doesn't look too terrible. Let's see how this transition is looking in between though. It doesn't look too bad. Alright, just to see how it looks, we're gonna go ahead and select the leg that's coming forward, and about halfway through, let's just go ahead and make that bend a little bit stronger. Let's try 55 maybe. Let's do a little bit more than that. Let's try 65. Let's go crazy. All right. I don't know why I'm losing the view sometimes. Why is this happening? Maybe I have my surfaces in the wrong spot or something. Anyway, all right. Let's see if we can take this, see what that looks like with that extra little bend in it. Doop. All right, so one of the questions here is this right leg as it's coming. Do we want it to stay? I feel like it needs to maybe bend a bit, but I don't want it to be I don't want it to be completely straight. I think it needs to kind of stay flush with the ground, which should be, it's either 12 or 13 here. Yeah, that makes it straight. So we're gonna go 13 on that bend. So it kind of gives us a slight bend there, I guess. Technically, I mean, you would probably go straight here, but the leg has not straightened out completely. Let's see where, like, what keyframe. So right around, let's see, right around here is when it's straightening out. Let's try going a little bit later on that just to see what that looks like. I ain't liking it. I ain't liking it. All right, we're just gonna do the usual and just see what that looks like here. We're just gonna straighten this leg out. That looks okay, I guess. We'll go with that. And what we want to see is what kind of movement we have. One thing I actually forgot to do with the walk cycle, and I think it's a completely optional thing, so that's why I went ahead and left it out, but there is like a bobbing nature you would have, and I feel like it would definitely be more necessary with a run cycle than with a walk cycle, if you're going to do it at all. So I might try it with this one, which is basically, you notice when his foot comes down, it's completely straight. We might want his body to actually kind of go up a little bit and down as he's doing the stride. And I just realized we are a little bit too low there. There we go. All right, so we got everything sorted out again. And all right, so you notice here, we probably want the body to be doing something at this point. Now, when you are running, what would be a realistic way of depicting this? Would you come up a little bit? Something like that. Maybe take the bend out and have the head tilt down because you're trying to keep up with where you're going. So let's make that -4. That doesn't look too bad. So this makes me question whether or not this should actually be bending forward on this this point. All right, never mind. I switched it back. We're gonna go with the negative bend. I kind of feel like the motion is a little bit more realistic with this. Perhaps it's a more realistic animation. Once again, I didn't research this to kind of get an idea of how things should look. I'm just kind of winging it. Let's see. And then I think on the arm that flies forward here, you would kind of straighten it out, would you not? Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, that looks a little bit better. And then the one that's flying backwards, You might straighten out just a tad as well. Let's just try going to like say a 20 degree. And then, yeah, the 20 degree might be a little bit much on the straightening out there. Let's go to 40 maybe. Something like that. Okay. And let's make sure this is all good, and then we'll try to duplicate our keyframes and see what we got. Alright, one thing I'm not liking is the head movement here. I feel like maybe it's a little too stationary. Maybe we want it to go down a little bit on these two keyframes here. So let's try making that about -5. And then maybe on this one we'll kind of straighten it out a bit. Let's go to -3. So there's a little bit more of a difference there. Try -6. It's not too bad. All right, and then what we want to do is duplicate this, but opposite for the other way that it's going to be coming up. So what we're going to do is take this and copy, and paste it about 5 frames. Then go ahead and copy this one and paste it. 5 frames. Alright, so this doesn't work quite right because we have everything reversed here. So what we want to do is reverse some of these positionings, such as with the right leg and the left leg. So this one's 12.5 with 0 bend, 12.5 with 65 bend. Alright, so we're going to make this one 65. This one's 0. Looks a bit better. And the body should be the same. The head should be the same. And I think we're going to want to reverse these for the arms. So this is 4.5 and 40. 4.5 and 0. All right. So we're doing well. We're doing good. These numbers are staying simple, and it's making our life a lot easier. All right, so I'm not really digging the arm going straight here the way we have it. I feel like it ends up looking a little bit weird. It's not exactly what I want. Maybe we want to have it bend a little bit more. So let's go ahead and select these two, since those are our reversed positions here, and let's give them a little bit of a bend. Let's go with 25. You can fine tune this yourself. I'm sorry, I'm spending way too much time on this. I may skip through some of this stuff, so if it's jumping around, I apologize, but I'm just trying to feel this out and kind of get things to looking good. All right, and let's see here. Our body, I feel like, needs to be a little bit fine-tuned here. So as he's coming forward, yeah, I feel like maybe it should bend backwards a little more. Am I wrong? Let's see. Set both of these up to be 8 and have this be -5 maybe. Let's try a little bit smaller number, -3. And then, of course, we're going to have to adjust the head position here. Let's try -4. Doesn't look too bad. It might be a little bit rough, but you get the idea. And we're going to go ahead and have this bit happen here. As you can see, like when you download this, it'll have the character controller and everything, you know, the usual basis for how I do things. So hopefully that works for you and stuff. But for now, I'm gonna try. Like what it'll allow you to do is you can move the character while having him bobbing independently. That's one of the benefits of doing the character controller, the folder thing that I do, is so that you don't have to worry about having him bob and running at the same time, and it can kind of mess up your movements if you try to change the timing. That's what I'm trying to say. So it kind of simplifies that in a little bit with an added minor complication of having the character controller, i.e. the folder. So what we want to happen, he may come down a bit as he's running and then pop up a bit as his leg comes down. So that's what we want to kind of mimic here. And what we're going to do is just go ahead and set keyframes for all of these. And for these moments here on the in-betweens, we're going to do this. And we're going to have him drop, let's just say, I don't know, -1 might be a bit much. Doesn't look too bad. You may actually want to do it more, you may want to do it less. I don't know. It's up to you. All right, so this is, we're going to go ahead and try to extend this out so we can see what it really looks like here. So this is the right leg coming forward, and this is the right leg coming forward. So we want to go ahead and copy these keyframes. Let's do like that. And just keep on bringing it out. There we go. All right, let's see what that looks like on our camera here. All right, so that doesn't look too bad, but what you may be noticing here is that it's a bit slow. We probably want to speed this up a bit because it is a running cycle after all, not a walking cycle. You could technically make it work. It really depends on, you know, what kind of run you're trying to do. If he's doing a light jog, then that might not be so bad, but I'm kind of going with a little bit more of a rapid run here. So let's see if we can undo some of our copy pasting and adjust our timing just a bit. All right, so we're gonna bring this in, say 2 keyframes, and then select these again, 2 keyframes, select it again, 2 keyframes. This 2 keyframes may be too much, but we will see. All right, seems a bit much. Let's go ahead and back it off 1 frame. Let's just see if one frame. Oh, I'm getting my terms mixed up here. That doesn't seem too bad. All right, let's try it again. So we got to figure out exactly what kind of difference we got here. So this is going to be 4 frames apart. So basically you have 3 frames in between each set. So we're going to do like that. And so, you know, using the uneven numbers like this kind of can make things a little bit more tedious to work with, but it's not impossible. I just like to keep things simple if I can. Makes my life a little bit easier. So we got 3 frames in between those. All right. Looks like we're doing okay. That doesn't look too bad. All right, and let's see if we can select all of these and bring them in. I feel like the starting thing is a little bit too slow. Yeah, he just starts running. Ugh. He's Forrest Gump. He doesn't know when to stop, man. All right, so there we go. That's a pretty, I would say it's a pretty basic run cycle. I really would need to practice more to get one of these, but it's an alternative from the one that you get automatically with Mine-imator. It's a little bit more of a casual run, I would say, perhaps. And it's got no, real flair to it or anything, but you get some pretty decent action there. We're going to leave it at that. Maybe eventually, just like with the walk cycle, maybe I'll revisit them eventually and do kind of an updated, more advanced kind of run and walk cycles that give you a little more flair and polish. But for now, I think that's a pretty good basic one. It gives you an idea of how you can perhaps create one on your own, or of course, if you want it, hopefully the download will be in the description of the video and you can download this one for yourself. Anywho, thanks for watching. I hope it was helpful. Hope you enjoyed it to some extent. And I hope I'll see you in the next video.